Ladies and gentlemen, Season 5 Reloaded of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone is here. It's not quite out yet as this video comes out, but at noon Eastern Standard Time, that is when it is going live. And we have the patch notes today, so as per usual, that is exactly what we'll be doing in this video. So starting out with some of the new things, first of all, the new map is Ink House. It's the same as Stash House, but this time it is kind of cell shaded like we've seen before. Our new modes are Fish Infection, which is cats versus fish infected, Paintball, and Defuse and Destroy, which is Search and Destroy, no respawning like that, but the round starts with a bomb planted, and then the final one is Cyber Attack, backed by popular demand. New weapons, we have the Torque 35 launcher. So this is the week 5 challenges. This one is essentially the compound bow. Then we have the Spear, which is a part of the battle pass. So no crazy new weapons. We have some aftermarket parts, which include the Jack Death March for the BAL 27, as well as the Jack Devastator for the Reclaimer 18 shotguns. New events. So this is important because this ties into Black Ops 6. So the Wildlife Most Wanted starts today. And then the next one, Emotional Overdrive, doesn't start until September 12th. So from the 28th to the 12th, that is Black Ops 6 time. That is beta time. Call of Duty next time. I may be there. Maybe. Moving on, there's some performance, UI fixes, bug fixes, progression fixes, map fixes, things along those lines. And then we get into our weapon changes. So keep in mind, this is for multiplayer. We'll get into the Warzone stuff in a minute. The DG56 increased lower torso damage multiplier by 1.1, so small buff there. The M4 from Modern Warfare 2 removed duplicate VX pineapple. They fixed a bug with it, essentially. The Bass B increased upper leg, lower leg, and foot damage multipliers to 1.1. It says, with the Bass B, shots that land below the waist now deal damage equal to those that hit the torso. So it's a buff to that weapon as well. The MTZ 762 increased maximum damage range, so a buff to that. The FTAC Recon increased near medium damage, increased medium damage, increased far medium, increased essentially all of the ranges on this weapon, so the FTAC Recon got a buff. The Rival 9 got a fix to the Jack Headhunter. Moving into the light machine guns, decreased sprint to fire time and decreased aim down sights time. In other words, that is a buff to both of those. Increased fire rate, increased neck damage multiplier, and increased lower torso and hand multipliers as well. So for the Pelumont, that is a big buff in multiplayer. The RPK got a Jack Cataclysm conversion kit. I believe that's the sniper conversion kit. Increased flinch, increased hip spread, increased hip fire spread, increased recoil gun kick, increased horizontal recoil, and increased vertical recoil. Essentially, what that is to do is if you miss your first shot or do not kill someone, your follow-up shot is going to be much more difficult to hit. So it's a nerf to that one, which is good because that thing was really overpowered. Marksman rifles, the MCW 6.8 increased fire rate and increased lower torso damage multiplier, so a buff there. The SPR 208 removed incompatible paracord grip. They removed it, nothing fancy there. Handguns. The Akimbo attachment, so decreased hip fire spread and decreased damage range penalty. Essentially, Akimbo on all of the handguns is now going to be much better. This is a very big deal. All of the weapons, Akimbo is better, just around the board. There is, from what I can see here, there is no nerfs to Akimbo whatsoever. You also may have noticed that these are all Modern Warfare 2 weapons. So this is to make Akimbo better on Modern Warfare 2 weapons to match the Modern Warfare 3 weapons. Perks, they added a second gear slot for the infantry vest. Kill streaks, the IMS increased the hitbox size of explosives, increased enemy detection radius, and decreased the duration for explosives to reach its vertical apex. So a buff all around to the IMS. Mortar Strike, they fixed an issue. Carpet Bomb fixed an issue. And Advanced UAV, enemy players equipped with Ghost, TAC V camo gear, or Assassin's Vest are no longer demoted to a dot indicator on the map. So a small buff on that front as well. Once again, UI fixes, and then weapons and attachments, the Reclaimer 18 Pack-a-Punch, that is for zombies there. They removed the ammunition capacity, increased the damage scale, and increased the damage scale once again to 4 times. So a buff all around to the Reclaimer 18 within zombies. Also, side note, I didn't see this in the patch notes, but today we are getting the final zombies mission within Modern Warfare Zombies. I'm going to be streaming it over on Twitch. If you've never checked out my Twitch before, it is linked down in the description. When this update goes live at noon, we're going to be playing through that final mission, trying to beat it solo like I always do with that kind of thing. So check out my Twitch, link down below. And yeah, moving over to Warzone. This moves us now over to Warzone. So starting off here, we have performance issues, implemented additional performance improvement. The one thing that I will say is this update was very, very big. And with it, they are kind of fixing things up for Black Ops 6 and getting ready for the beta, things along those lines. So a lot of these things behind the scenes, we're not going to see what is going on here. One thing that I'm hoping is packet burst. Packet burst is really bad for me in zombies and Warzone and multiplayer. I'm hoping this update fixes a little bit with that, but only time will tell. Yearsextand, we have made adjustments to the world geometry to slightly improve content streaming. So that should, big emphasis on should, help with packet burst. New mode, Supreme Resurgence. This is the one where you find good weapons on the ground and don't really need to buy loadouts. So it talks about certain things that were removed, non-competitive items, custom-built weapons from the past years, the FJX Horus, STG, custom-built nostalgic weapons, the RPK, things along those lines. Those are the weapons that you will find on the ground. The playlists this week include Supreme Resurgence, Quads on Rebirth Island, Ranked Play, Trios, Rebirth Island, Plunder, Quads, Yearsextand, Battle Royale, Solos, Trios, and Quads, and Resurgence, Duos, and Trios. Duos is Rebirth, Trios is Map, flippity-floppity. Why did I say that? New in-game events, we have the Code Bull flyover starting today, just like kind of like an in-game event. Also, new Warzone personal records. New end of match accolade. Victory just got a whole lot sweeter. When you win a match of Battle Royale, you'll now earn a special accolade if you surpass your personal kill record. That's really cool. I think that's just like a really nice quality of life improvement. In other words, if you do better than your best, it'll actually let you know and give you kind of a warning in game. Gameplay, we have elite contracts, which is essentially are the exact same contracts, but this time you have less time to do them with a bigger reward. Recon flyover is kind of like the occupation scan, but this time it flies over, and if you're in the path, it'll actually reveal the direction that you are looking. Adjusted on all maps in Resurgence, the scavenger contract time is now decreased to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and the chances of the bounty contest happening have been reduced. As we talked about, here are our two new weapons, the aftermarket parts, and then we get into weapon balancing. So BAL 27, maximum damage range increase, so buff there. DG56 got the same lower torso multiplier as we saw in multiplayer, so buff there. FR556 max damage range increased, and lower arm and hand modifiers increased as well, so a buff to that weapon and a pretty large range increase at that. The Holger 556 max damage range increased to 41.91, so a pretty big buff there. MCW max damage range increased, near medium damage range increased, and mid damage range increased. This is a surprising one. MCW, I think, is really going to be a top tier weapon, even more so after this buff. STG-44 got a nerf to the max damage, so that's the close damage. And then the M16, just the Jack Patriot conversion kit, max damage range increased to that as well, so a buff there. The Bass B, lower leg and foot multipliers increased, so that's a small buff. The Jack Heretic carbine, max damage range increase, so a buff to that. SOA Subverter, max damage range increase, so a buff to that as well. Moving into SMGs. Starting out, we have the max damage range increase for the Rival 9. The Static HV, mid damage decreased, max damage range decreased, near mid damage range decreased, mid damage range decreased, headshot modifier. It got buffed. It got buffed really, really, really hard, and I'm not surprised. It was my personal favorite weapon, and it got nerfed pretty damn hard. The Striker, max damage range increased and near mid damage range increased, so a buff to the Striker. The Lockman Shroud from Modern Warfare 2, the Jack Decimator conversion kit range increased, so a buff there. Light machine guns, the Peliamont got an interesting treatment. Neck modifier increased, lower torso increased, decreased sprint to fire time, decreased aim down sights, and increased fire rate. Big buff all around to the Peliamont, and just like we saw in multiplayer, the Cataclysm kit got a nerf just like we saw in multiplayer in the exact same way, so I don't need to go over that again. The marksman rifles, the DM56 max damage range increase, so buff there. MCW 6.8 increased fire rate, that's a big one, and lower torso modifier increased as well, so a buff on that one. The same akimbo changes, so the Modern Warfare 2 akimboed weapons are now the exact same TTKs or similar TTKs as the Modern Warfare 3 weapons. There might be some exploits with these, so stay tuned, the meta could change there. And then we got bug fixes as well. So that pretty much summarizes all of the changes within the Season 5 Reloaded update. Again, this was also to get ready for the Black Ops 6 beta. I wouldn't be surprised if after this update comes out, we get a bunch of leaks. So stay tuned to the channel for that. I will keep you guys updated. There is going to be a second video coming for Black Ops 6 today, so stay tuned, subscribe, notifications. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're